This is the 21st season of Bass Talk Live. BTL is presented by Bass Cat Boats, Strike King Lures, AFTCO, Pro Guide Batteries, Spro, Gamakatsu, The Bass Tank, Denali Rods, Beatdown Outdoors, and Sunline.
BTL coming at you.
Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition of BTL Bass Talk Live, where we are going to talk about bass fishing. I feel like we kind of came back, had the week off for the Leech Lake Open up in Minnesota. And I feel like we kind of came back with a handful of really good shows. A little AOY special to kick things off earlier this week with Jacob Wheeler. The dude is on the go 24/7. I got an interesting comment there with the guys that are just absolutely tearing it up at the top there. I would love to see like a best of 7 series on random fisheries between Jacob Wheeler and Trey McKinney right now. Now I know Trey hasn't accomplished the same number of wins, the 10 BPT wins that Jacob Wheeler has, the 4 Angler of the Years in the 5 seasons, but I think those are the two guys. I think those guys that would be a fun series. It'd be kind of like when they did the Canada Cup in hockey back in like the late 80s, just two of the top teams going at it. And then Eric Luzak came on, talked about a 31 5-pound bag of smallmouth out of the St. Lawrence River. It's unbelievable to imagine catching 714, a 7, and then 3 other 6s in a tournament day. Especially where they were taking out of with a 90-mile run just to get to the fishing area, to do all that in 3 hours to catch 6 fish. That was a really good show. And then yesterday, one of my favorite shows of the year, really impressed, just kind of watching him from afar. And it's got to be tough. I know one of our guests today, he's got a son who's has experienced that same thing, but to be Randy Howell's son, you know, the classic champ, 2014 on Lake Gunnersville, but then to make your own path, to see how hard he's worked at it, and then to pay off with a frogfish victory on Leech Lake. Laker Howell was a really good interview yesterday, kind of watching and getting inside of his brain to kind of take the things that he's learned from being in the Howell family since he was born, you know, with Randy being a big time professional angler, but then make his own path out of it. So I also kind of, before each show, I also do I kind of peruse to see, I wanted to see, you know, had Laker been on any other shows, just to kind of catch, I try to do things that are a little unique. And screw it, I'm going to say it. I thought for sure, and I don't watch it regularly, I wanted to see what the Randy Blockett had to say about this last Bassmaster Open, with 100 guys going out fishing boulders on a smallmouth fishery that had been dominated by a local on a dice 8-pound test at a smallmouth in Easton Fothergill last year. And the majority of the guys smallmouth fishing. I thought for sure he would have a video about a guy who buys and discontinued old school snag-proof frog off eBay, goes out in a 2-day tournament, throws it exclusively, and smokes all the scopers. It's like the 3rd or 4th time it's happened this year. You had Wes Logan, who did it on 10 Killer. You had Pat Schlopper, who did it on the Sabine, but those are kind of non-traditional scoping. Dude, he has done 13 videos over the past 4 days since Laker Howell has won on a frog out of the rice and beat all the scopers. Hasn't said a damn word about it. So there's that for your narrative. I just wanted to kind of get that off my chest. I found that was very interesting. Doesn't fit the narrative. Why do a video about it? One of the things that I have looked forward to every fall for the last couple years is the MLF Team Series. I think this is one of the things they've gotten right. And last year they kind of started, it was like kind of sneaky, and they tried like earpieces and multiple teams, and then no one knew when they were fishing, and then it wasn't aired. And then last year they were like, okay, like this is kind of a jam. Like let's kind of let people know where they're fishing. Let's have a draft. Let's do some teams. Some really cool dynamics went down there with like odd pairings, father-son pairings, the whole 9 yards. This year, I'm happy that they have leaned into this even more. I think we're going to have live coverage of this. We had a team drafts. We've got another group of very interesting teams that are coming out on it. And there's a tournament coming up. I need to pull up the name of this tournament here 1 second. And then we'll bring our guests in for the day. I could not write down the name of this tournament because it's a mouthful. It is the Major League Fishing Clash Team Series presented by Bass Pro Shops B&W Trailer Hitches Challenge Cup presented by 5 Hour Energy at Port Huron on Michigan's Thumbcoast, hosted by Discover the Blue Michigan's Thumbcoast. And Team Smoky Mountain is Dean Rojas and Josh Bertrand. And I just happen to know both Dean Rojas and Josh Bertrand, and they're on the show today to talk about competing in this prestigious event that's coming up next week. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
Good morning, Matt. Always great to be on the show with you.
Oh, Dean just got a text. Oh, there he's back. You got me still, Dean?
I got you.
All right. I definitely want to get into this because both of you, I believe both of you have competed in this in the past. The MLF season just wrapped up. They had, did they do the draft for this, Dean, at ICAST, where you guys were able to draft who was on your team, or how did they come up with the teams? I know there was some sort of draft.
Yeah, so we had a draft at Saginaw for the second batch of teams, but the draft for this one happened about, 3 months ago, Josh, I think it was?
Yeah, I believe it was right before Kentucky Lake.
Yeah,
so we've known about this for a while. Yeah, I think in maybe June, maybe May.
So who drafted who, Josh? Did you draft Dean, or did Dean draft you, or did they just, because there's interesting teams, and this is obviously Team Arizona here. You guiding, you actually have a guide trip later on today. Dean, Lake Havasu City, Lake Havasu right there. I mean, you've been there forever. You have to water your rocks in your yard out there. That's one of the things. If you've ever been to Havasu, everybody's out there.
I sweep the rocks. I don't water.
Everyone's out there in their yard with a hose and a sweeper, and they're sweeping their yard because there's no grass out there. But how did you guys end up on the same team then?
Yeah, so I mean, I had the honor. I was lucky enough for Dean to draft me. So the way it works for these deals is the league takes, a few tournaments. In this case, it was the first 3 tournaments of the year, and they take the top performers out of those tournaments, and those guys are the captains, and they draft their team basically. So you've got, I believe, 24 captains, and there's 24 other anglers that get selected by the captains. So Dean ended up calling me on the way to that event that the draft was at, and said he was looking to fish together. So I was stoked about that, and ended up working out.
Yeah,
talk
so
about
cool,
the decision to pick Josh.
Yeah, well, I love the Cup events. I've been there ever since the very beginning, and then they went into the team series, and it's a whole different dynamic from what we're used to doing at our level. And what I've learned in the last 3 that I've done is you need like diversification in a team. Like, you don't want, that's my opinion. We made a bunch of final rounds, and you have to, because there's so many different bodies of water that you're fishing, you don't know where you're going. So you want to pick somebody, or have another competitor with you that is really good at certain things, and then I'm good at what I do. And so wherever we go, the chances of us being able to perform whatever's thrown at us is gonna prevail. And so that was the whole objective. Of course, I wanted, Josh is a good friend of mine. We're the last 2 from Arizona out here. So yeah. I was like, man, it'd be cool to fish with Josh. And I thought, man, that'd be a good pick. Josh is, he's won the U.S. Open. He's won a big elite series on St. Lawrence. He's, top 10 a lot. And I'm like, this is my guy. This is what I want. And this is what we need. I'm good at what I do. He's excellent at what he does. And that way, whatever's thrown at us, you look at it, I think we got it covered. We got it.
Did you guys know at the time where the venue was going to be? Port Huron, I would assume I've never fished there, but I would assume it's got to have largemouth and smallmouth possibilities, with which Josh very prowess with that open water, kind of Great Lakes Smalley stuff. Dean, you're not afraid to get out there and catch him, but you can also mix it up shallow. So did you know when the pairings that it was probably going to be kind of a dynamic fishery like that? Or was that not kind of let you guys know until after the picking?
No, the only thing with that is like we didn't know where we were going until about a month after that. We were right after I think it was Potomac, they made the announcement for that. So a little bit after that, I think it was. And then it was good. But wherever we go, so you got to figure too, it's August. We're probably not going to go down south. We just finished up here, at Saginaw Bay, a couple weeks ago. They're going to keep it kind of close. Okay. I mean, within, 500 to 800 miles, 1,000, in that range. They're not going to go all the way to Florida, South Texas, So you got to think of that. So, and it's northern, it's nice up there at this time of year. So you kind of figure that's going to play. And so that's kind of where, that was another dynamic why I picked Josh as well, is because, his expertise up in that area.
How do you decide whose boat you use, who runs the show, how the stuff is done? I know that I think they provided boats last year for you guys, or did you pick, or like, how do you determine whose vessel you're competing out of? Because I mean, that's kind of like your living room. That's your office.
Yeah. So Matt, they provide the boats.
Okay.
So we just bring our gear. And so, for us, we Josh and I have chatted a lot in the last, 3 weeks and so forth. So we're on preparation, what we're going to need and stuff. But, what I learned last year, I picked Michael Neal. We've done well in the past, as my team partner. And we were in the same boat together. And I learned something because it's different when they just, when you're fishing with somebody, and you're at such a high level and you're used to doing things your way. And then all of a sudden you've got two guys that are the same thing in the boat. And now you're competing on that day. So I asked Josh, I said, Josh, do you mind if we like go fishing, somewhere? I don't care. I'll go to Roosevelt. You can come here, whatever you want to do. And he goes, dude, I'd love to. Let's hook that up. So we found a day and we went out and we fished together the whole day. And we talked strategy. We talked about, what, and I saw what he likes to do. He sees what I like to do and how we can communicate. And now going into this event, I don't feel any uncomfortableness or, awkwardness going into it. And because now I know, Josh is a great angler. I know he's going to give it all. And we're going to work as a team moving through all this. So we've prepared for it. And, and we're going to find out all next week. So I'm excited about it.
Talk a little bit about that preparation that day on the water with Dean, Josh. Like, what did you guys work through? Did you determine like how you're standing in the boat, your kind of thought processes through the tournament? Like what do you think the value kind of actually, when you get down to the nitty gritty, was of getting in the boat with Dean for 12 hours?
Yeah, it was huge. And I think it was a great idea by Dean. I'm glad we did it. Last year I fished with Adrian Avena, and he's a buddy of mine, and we gelled pretty easily on the boat. But I totally get what Dean is saying there. Like, you've got two guys that are used to being the captain, and then you put them on the boat together. And it's funny, I fished a team tournament with Clifford Perch back in the day, man. The first time we ever fished together, we jumped into a tournament and we were running into each other, knocking each other's fish off with the net. It was awful, dude. And Cliff, like, he'll tell you the same thing. We just were like over each other all night. And that's what happens when you jump in the boat with someone who you're not used to fishing with, the first time in a tournament. So Dean and I, we had a great time. I mean, he's one of the best, not just shallow water, but just best bass fishermen ever to live, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And, when we went fishing, we did a lot of shallow fishing. And I know in that case, like, if we fish shallow, my job is to just complement whatever Dean's doing, right? If we go deep, I can take the reins and we can do that. But if we're going to fish shallow, Dean is on the trolling motor, and I'm just trying to compliment him, just like I would want a co-angler to compliment me in a tournament. So in a shared weight. But it was great. We fished all day. We caught a ton of fish. And then just that awkwardness wears off right away. I mean, just in a couple hours. And now it's like, instead of having to have all those discussions like we did that day during the tournament, we've already done it. Now we just go fish.
I'm curious. So like if you're up shallow, like Dean, would you have any, don't get upset at me for this, Dean. Dean, would you have any problem, telling Josh like, hey, if we're frogging, like I'm going to tweak your frog just a little bit. And then like, Josh, would you have any trouble telling Dean not to drop shot with that hook that has the built-in swivel?
He's already told me.
We already did it, Matt.
Swivel.
I go, let me see your frog. He missed the guy. I go, let me see your frog. Let me get it right for you. And I got it right for him. And you tell him, Josh.
Yep. No, that's for sure. Like he's, and that's good. That's what I want. I mean, that's the coolest thing about the team series is you get an opportunity to learn from someone that's really good at something, right? And so in some of the other team series we did early on, I was a captain in the first two, and I literally picked my teams based upon guys I could learn a lot from. They just had totally different styles again. And this is going to be no different. Like, I mean, who wouldn't want to go have an opportunity to spend the day with Dean, watching him? I mean, it's one thing to be chatting before a tournament, after a tournament, whatever. Oh, how do you catch them? How do you do this? To sit in the boat and see it for 8 hours is a different deal. So, whether, and I'm sure I might have a couple smallmouth things that might just be different than what Dean does. So like, we'll go back and forth on it. And there's going to be a time, I'm sure, where I'm like, hey man, maybe this hook, and he might think, I'm going to stick with my hook, dude. Or vice versa. But when it comes to the shallow water stuff and, dude, I mean, gosh, frogging, I'm going to go ahead and follow his lead for sure.
Thoughts, Dean? Same thing on that?
Oh, yeah.
As far as how deep, yeah.
No, it's with Josh, I'll use whatever hook he tells me to use, drop shotting. Okay, I've got mine, but maybe there's something better. And that's the cool thing about this. And it's the whole dynamic of MLF introducing this. As it moves forward, we never used to do this, Matt. Fish with another pro in the boat.
Hell, you wouldn't even stay with another pro.
Yeah. So like now I want, because when you get to that level, you're at that such a high level.
Yeah.
You really don't, I don't want to say stop learning, but you learn, but it's more of a like, okay, I've seen that already. I've seen that, done that, done that, and that. But when you get into a boat with somebody, because all of us are different. We do everything a little bit differently than it's not the norm. So for us, it's like I can't wait to fish with other guys because it's like you get to see, how they whooped, me, for all those years, and I can learn and I want to learn. And, and that was the cool thing about fishing with Josh. I mean, I watched just the fluidness, when you're actually doing it, and you're fluid with it, you don't think anything of it. But then when you watch somebody else do it, you're like, damn, that's good. That was a good cast. That was the way you did that. But
likewise. Yep.
It's that smoothness at our level, which techniques that we think are simple. The average weekend guy goes, how in the heck do you do that? And I was like that with Josh and just watching him like, damn. And the cool thing about it, Matt, it's a 1-2 punch. So we are not going to throw the same baits. Okay. There's going to be, one or the other. And if they're, unless it's really dominant and we're catching them, but I want them to be doing something just a little bit differently than what I'm doing, just because, I want to make sure that we cover all the bases.
I've been fortunate enough through media events and staying to kind of be in the boat with both of you guys. And, I will say, so in like opens and Toyotas and stuff, I'm 6 for 6 on smallmouth. And before my first smallmouth tournament, I called Josh and I said, listen, I'm not looking for waypoints. I'm not looking for spots. I'm looking just to chat with you one-on-one about your philosophy because you never miss up north. And I'm not kidding. Since then, I have had 2 lines from that conversation that have ran through my mind every smallmouth tournament that I fished, and I am 6 for 6 on cashing checks in them.
Dude, I love it. That's awesome.
I'm from Oklahoma. Dean, I still have not weighed in a frog in tournament competition. I lost one 2 years ago on Ross Barnett that I almost got back to the boat, and other than that, you're a magician with that thing. I don't get it.
Matt, you're just dunking plunk, man. That's all you do. That's all you do. You never think of a frog. You'd rather scope them.
I know.
He's just a scoper.
You can't say that because you haven't even given it a chance.
I know. I'm just giving you a tough time. How does this setup work then? I know that they're at the beginning there. I don't think there was much money. I think they threw some money in it this year. I think there's even more prizes this year. If there's one thing I know at the top level, when there is money to be made, when there is cash to be earned and trophies to be won, it takes it to a whole nother level of preparation and seriousness. What's on the line in the team series this year?
Well, we're guaranteed, obviously show up money to be there. And so then in every round you move on to, the money goes up.
Okay.
So it's a ladder, if you will. And then the final round, it pays, I think it's $50,000 to win at the top. And then it pays really good though. It's like, I think it's 50, 40, 30 or something like that all the way on down for the last 4 teams that are in the championship round. So.
And is there an entry fee?
No, we don't pay anything. We just show up.
No entry fee. So I mean, traditionally anywhere between $500 and $6,500 for a tournament at that top level. So this is a no entry fee live stream chance at the end of the year. So all things considered, so it's broken down into sections. So there's 12 teams that are competing next week on the Thumbcoast, on Michigan's Thumbcoast. I'd never heard that. I had to look it up. That's a real thing. Michigan's Thumbcoast. You have the Joneses, Alton Jr. and Alton, Mark Davis, Gary Klein, Justin Cooper, and John Hunter. That's an interesting team. Team Ferguson, Brent Ayler, and Justin Lucas. That's
they're in our group, man.
Yeah, this is the group that's fishing this week. This next week.
Yeah, that's us. They're in our group of 4.
They've got it split 3 days. So out of those 12 teams, you've got groups of 4 fishing.
Oh, so they're in your group.
Yeah, they're in our group.
West Coast guys in the group.
Yeah. Gary Klein and Mark Davis.
West Coast guy.
Yeah. So
you've got the veterans, them, you guys, and then what's the other team?
Nelson and Villa.
That's it. Nelson and Villa.
Oh, and Ron, you don't want any part of Ron Nelson.
No. He's a monster, dude. He's a monster.
Yeah. I didn't think it was possible to be more low key than Todd Faircloth, and Ron Nelson has figured out a way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. He's quiet.
Yeah. And so basically it's like a March Madness bracket style. As far as you win, you move on. And then, okay. And then does the champion of these 12 teams at the end move on to the next round then, where there's like a championship team event too?
No, so that in the qualifying rounds, you need to finish, and the top 2 teams move on, and then the bottom 2 are done. So after they've done through the process, they've cut it. They'll be down to 6 teams, and then you'll have 2 winners and 2 second place finishers fish in one round, and then they break it down. So you just got to make sure you make the you finish first or second all the way through.
Josh, you spend a lot of time in the boat with other people. You're guiding. I know you've got a guide trip. Actually, you're on your way to a guide trip, and then you leave tomorrow for it. So I greatly appreciate, with a young family at home, I greatly appreciate you taking the time to jump on BTL. But I would like to pick your brain, and I did a show about this last year, as far as learning with other people in the boat. We're seeing a trend, particularly in opens and things, where there's no co-anglers in the boat, and then we're seeing a lot of younger anglers and people who are getting out who are making, I would say, uneducated decisions on the water. Just they haven't been in the boat with other people to learn the ropes. From a team tournament standpoint, how important is it, from learning to be a proficient angler, from learning the ropes, to spend time in a team tournament format at any level?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to anything where time on the water is so critical. And it's funny because like a team tournament, I do like, if you look at like the local level, when I fish a lot of team tournaments, I fish with the same guy all the time, right? So like when you're doing that, you kind of learn the same things. It's easy to get stuck in certain ways fishing the same lakes with the same guys. But like this is a team tournament, but it's a rare situation where you're fishing with a different kind of with a different guy than you normally fish with. So I mean, yeah, man, I think the team tournaments are amazing. They're fun. This is so unlike any other team tournament. It's a tough question to answer because this thing is so unique. Like the local team tournaments that you see the circuits on through the year. I think they're great, they're fun, but I think you learn so much more fishing with someone different every time. So like that leads to, like on that level, I think you learn a lot more fishing a BFL or a federation tournament where it is a draw. But like for us, we're fishing by ourselves all the time. And Dean kind of hinted at it earlier, like, and man, I got to be honest, man, I did for a few years, especially when the kids were toddlers, right? Like you learn a lot and you get to a point to where it's like, my life's so busy. I know a lot about bass fishing. You can get a little stagnant on learning. You can get a little stagnant on your learning curve. And it's been a real eye-opener over the last couple of years to watch all these young new fishermen come in and have so much success. And I feel like, especially in the last 6 months, I've really tried to crank up, open up my mind a little bit, and try to speed my learning curve back up, because that can never stop. And this is an awesome opportunity for me to fish with Dean and get such a wealth of knowledge in such a short amount of time.
From the format standpoint, Dean, you're one of probably 10 or 15 guys going in the sport right now that has competed in every possible top tournament format, from the E50s through every form of MLF, the entire Elite Series, top 150s, invitationals, co-anglers, you've done it all. This team tournament format at this level, this is a professional team series now, and at the top level, how important is a team series event at the top level to the health of professional bass fishing? Or is this a novelty? Is this something that you think is important for the health of the sport moving forward?
Well, you did forget fish and chips too. That was the
fish and chips and ultimate match fishing.
But you know what? And I loved every single one of them, Matt. Because they were different, and each one of those, they're trying to break through what our traditional thing is of going out and fishing for 5. Now, going back to the team stuff, look, all of our fans, all the people that watch BTL, they've probably all competed in a team tournament at some point in their life. Or they've been out fishing with their buddy on the water and had a friendly competition. So the cool thing about what they've done, and it's, you guys to give some kudos to MLF for bringing this up and actually having pros competing as teams, and I think it's been talked about for many years, but nobody actually did it. And I think it's great. I think that the fans can relate to it, because they fish with their buddies at home on their local team circuit, and it's fun fishing together in a combined 5-fish deal, where you guys are working together for the ultimate goal of winning or cashing a check. I mean, that's it. And for the fun factor, it's nice to have somebody in the boat to chat with, visit with, if you're just casually out there just having a fun time. So the team series that we're doing this fall, I think is the pinnacle of what can be showcased across all fronts in the fishing industry, in the bass fishing industry, because they can all relate to it. Like Josh mentioned, we're in the boat all day by ourselves all the time. I mean, it is. I mean, at times it gets boring out there, okay? Because you're just, because you're just in the abyss sometimes, you're just out there. And when you have somebody else in the boat with you, there's conversation and so forth, and ideas, and and you can feed off each other, because if one's not feeling good, the other one can charge you up, say, "Come on, man, let's go. We got to go here, here, and here, and we got to do this, and that. And remember, we caught a 5-pounder here, we caught a 3-pounder over there." Next thing you know, you got that guy excited, got him back up again, and everything is moving. And you guys work good as a team, and those are things that happen every Saturday, on a local team circuit, and that's why the guys love it, and that's why the guys do it, and that's why we all do it. Is for the camaraderie, the friendship, the competition, and just spending a day on the water with your friend, and hoping to get a check, So I think they've hit a home run with it, and I'm excited because I get to fish with different anglers. Josh gets to fish with different anglers, and we just learn. Now we can learn a lot more than where we're at, and I mean, like hands-on. deals where the guys are real time.
Yeah, I found it on here. We're talking with Dean Rojas, Josh Bertrand, two Bass Pro Tour MLF anglers about the upcoming Team Series Challenge Cup. And I did find it all on here, the refresher. During a 3-day qualifying round, 4 teams take the water each day, with the top 2 advancing to the knockout round. That makes 6 teams who move on and 6 teams who go home. Then the 3 teams will compete across 2 days of knockout round competition, with the 3rd place tandem eliminated. Finally, the 4 remaining teams will compete for the trophies during a winner-take-all championship round. Streaming all 6 days of competition, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on MLF Now, and Major League Fishing, My Outdoor TV app. And then also, I don't think I mentioned this, but the RFD TV also airs the entire opening day of the Challenge Cup. So you've got Bass Now that's on Roku, which I just found out that my bedroom TV has Roku, which is kind of cool. I was unaware of that before. So I actually tuned into some Bassmaster stuff on Roku and RFD TV for.
Hey, I'm sorry, guys. Can you hear me? I can't hear you guys.
Here we got
He can't hear us. So I'm just going to.
Do I need to do something with my mic?
Yeah, he's got to log out and then log back in so he can hear the mic. It's a weird StreamYard thing where if you have a call, it knocks your audio out to where we can hear him, but they can't hear us. So anyway, now would be a good time to take a break. And then when we come back, we can wrap things up for the team series, talking with Dean Rojas, Josh Bertrand, Team Smoky Mountain. That's it. That's been, I want to get Josh back on here. You got us back here. We're going to take a quick 30-second break. When I come back, I want to talk about Team Smoky Mountain a little bit, Josh. One of the coolest and long-standing non-endemic sponsorships in the fishing industry that you've that you have had. So it's BTL. What day of the week is it? Is it a Wednesday already?
Wednesday.
Holy cow! It's BTL on a Wednesday. We'll be back right after this.
The new Puma STS has been redesigned from the ground up. With the angler, design, function, and performance in mind, nothing on this new offering was compromised, and the only thing carried over from the previous version is the name. Based on the Soft Touch series hull that started with the flagship Jaguar, this new model is nimble and performs incredibly well at all speeds with either a 250 or 300 horsepower engine. Featuring a new 96-inch wide-body footprint, this hull measures out at 20 foot 7 inches in length. Industry-leading design coupled with tournament-winning performance. The Puma STS from Basscat. Feel the rush.
As a professional angler, there's only one thing that connects you to your paycheck. Probably the most crucial part to tournament bass fishing. I use Sunline because they have a line for every application. Shooter, FX2, All Might, super light line, big stuff, big sticks. Sunline has you covered.
Sharp as can be. Super strong, super durable.
Really good penetration.
Thinner and stronger.
Catch fish after fish.
I want to make sure that I'm using the best stuff possible.
World's finest hook.
World's finest hook.
Gamakatsu. World's finest hook.
Everything you need, one legendary brand. Top 100, Strike King.
Gear that just plain works. Cast after cast after cast. Any fish, any water.
All right, welcome back, BTL, on a Wednesday, chat with Dean Rojas, Josh Bertrand, Team Smoky Mountain for the upcoming challenge. Is it Challenge Cup? God, I had it so good, and then I screwed up the name of it. Challenge Cup on the Thumbcoast of Michigan. I'm assuming just by the name that's the thumb part.
Yeah, so
Saginaw
Bay is the bottom one where we came from, and then the Port Hurons up here on the tip.
Yeah. Heavily rely, all the different team names. You have a bunch of different team names: Yeti, Ferguson, Knighton, Bubba, Kubota, and Team Smoky Mountain. So a lot of non-traditional corporate sponsors jumping in on the team series as they did last year. I would assume, Josh, you're heavily influenced with Smoky Mountain, been one of your longtime sponsors, for over a decade now, right?
It's crazy. Yeah, this is my 13th year with Smoky Mountain, which is amazing.
Talk a little bit about how they, get involved with the team series and kind of their involvement with you guys, and how you guys ended up Team Smoky Mountain.
Yeah, so it was a pretty cool deal because they were involved with me for quite a while, and MLF had reached out to them. And MLF does a really good job with the sponsors. They deliver what they say they're going to deliver, and the sponsors really are happy. After they work with the league, and the team series is like an additional thing that they've been doing, and they've been doing it for the past few years, sponsoring a team in the team series at the end of the year. So we'll be fishing. There they are right there. We'll be fishing out of a green Smoky Mountain jersey, and their big thing, for forever they've been kind of the leader in tobacco alternatives. So
tobacco-free, nicotine-free herbal snuff.
That's right. If you're looking to quit chewing tobacco, this is your route to do it. But their new stuff, their caffeinated pouches, I've got one right here. This wasn't planned. This is it literally stays.
It wasn't.
Stays with me all the time. But the caffeinated pouches are awesome. They've got 60 milligrams of caffeine, so just a nice little tasty something to stick into your mouth or your cheek when you're driving down the road, or specifically fishing. Same thing, no nicotine, nothing in there. So just a little caffeine boost to stay focused and make sure that you don't miss the one that eats your frog.
And very cool on that stuff. You can go to their website, and because it doesn't have any substances in it, you can just have it shipped directly to your house straight from the website. Doesn't matter where you are.
That's exactly right.
So I've used it, unfortunately, off and on. But I've used it before. Josh has hooked me up with some. The stuff is awesome. Not a paid spokesman, have no affiliation with Smoky Mountain, but if you're looking for it, it is a great option. So I'm just curious, Dean, when was the last time you wore a green jersey?
Oh boy.
I mean, that do they make green Dickies?
No, they do, but I was not uniform.
I mean, you got a couple days. You got to get the green Dickies with the logo down the side to match. You've got the blue ones and the black ones and the red ones.
I keep threatening to do that one of these years. I don't know, maybe my last year I'll do that. I'll go old school.
Out there.
It's my first time with green. I was thinking about it. I'm like, it's going to be different. That's kind of a different thing. But hey, I'm all about it, man. Something new, something fun. Let's go. Let's roll, man. Let's just go. Hey, green grass means big bass. So I'm excited.
I like it.
Hey, you know what else is the color of green, Dean? Money.
Yeah, money.
There it is. One more question. I'll let you guys go. Josh, what do you know about the 16? You guide on that lake where the 16 plus was plucked from in the Derby last month, right?
Yeah. It's so what a crazy fish. I mean, to be honest, you start to question yourself. Like I'll have people ask, do you think a state record lives in the lake anymore? And to be honest, I get caught in the trap of feeling like all the best days of fishing are behind us. The fish are so pressured now. There'll never be any more state records caught. There'll never be a world record caught. Even with the technology we have, the fish are getting smarter and they're getting beat up. But that was a fresh breath of fresh air to see that giant fish come out. The guy that caught it, I see him at local tournaments all the time. Good guy, great guy. I don't know all the details outside of, what's public. I haven't talked to him or anything about it, but just cool to see. That lake is really coming on. I had a guide client catch a 10-8 out of there in June. And, the bags have been really good. So it was cool to see, man. I mean, it gives a fisherman hope that any cast you could catch a fish like that, that is a fish that everyone will hear about. It's pretty neat.
Nice. And then Havasu, Dean, great tournament venue. I'm waiting for one of the major tours to go back to Havasu, but still a good summer on Havasu.
Yeah, in fact, Little Machine and I were getting ready. He's been barking at me at the break there to hurry up because he wants to go fishing. Today's his day off, so he's like, "Come on, Dad, we need to go fishing." So if you hear somebody yell or scream, it's him because he's got the boat hooked up, all the tackle. And
who runs that trolling motor?
I'm sorry.
Who runs that trolling motor?
He does.
Really?
Unless he's really good. Okay,
yeah.
Well, but sometimes his boat position, he's getting a lot better. I have to tell him, hey man, you got to do this and that, because he'll just hang me out to dry. Like I have nowhere to cast, right? So I'm like, Austin, you gotta move the boat a little bit. He's like, oh, sorry, Dad. And I'm constantly trying to cast
in the reeds.
Yeah.
practicing for that UMF call in a couple years.
Yeah, I know. So he's, I'm very grateful and very appreciative. I have a son that loves to bass fish as much as I do, and that's all he does on his days off. He goes fishing, and then he goes after work, and he works at a tackle store here at Bass Tackle Master here in Havasu, and so he's around it all the time, and he just wants to go. So we're gonna go get a little tune up for this weekend, but I'm excited to fish with Josh. I'm excited. Thanks, Matt, for having us on the show. Always a pleasure. Always a joy to be here. And it's just, look, man, I'm excited for next year. I'm excited for the future. I mean, there's a lot of great things on the horizon for me. I'm not slowing down. I want to keep the pedal down and just keep going. And I want to get back on the top up there. So it's gonna be fun. So I'm working at it.
No retirement announcement from Dean Rojas today.
No. And you know what, Matt? There probably won't be. I'll just part. I'm not one of those guys that need all of that.
You still got 35 years to get to Rick Clunn?
Yeah, I ain't doing it that long. No, I mean, I love bass fishing, but I don't love it that much. All right.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean?
All right. I hear you. Are you at the launch ramp, Josh?
Not yet. No, I keep pulling over. I'm like inching closer, and
okay. Well, we'll let you guys go. I don't want to keep the little machine waiting. I know you've got a big guide trip today. Is it AZ Bass Guides if they want to get out with you, Josh?
Oh, you can actually just go right to my website, Josh Bertrand Fishing.
JoshBertrandFishing.com.
Thanks. Yep. Appreciate it big time.
And hey, you guide on the lake where a 16-pounder came out of.
Yeah, I sure do. So yeah, I wondered if that would if the phones might start ringing a little extra because of that. It's probably not going to hurt, but it's good for business when someone catches a 16-pounder on your lake. That's for sure.
Yep. All right, fellas, have a good morning. Good luck. Catch them up.
Thanks for having us.
See you, Dino. See you, Josh. All right, Josh Bertrand, Dean Rojas. We're going to wrap things up here because in 20 minutes at 9:35 a.m. over on Andrew Upshaw's channel, we are doing the final Open Pros Pick'em for the final Bassmaster Elite Series event of the season on the Mississippi River out of La Crosse. Andrew, Todd Castledine, and myself. So if you guys head over there at 9:35 on Andrew Upshaw's YouTube channel, you can watch that Open Pros Pick'em live. Really good show. Two really good guys, and commend MLF for really kind of leaning into this team series format. I've kind of followed the PBR. I know that the PBR did a team series. I mentioned that on the show before. There's actually a lot of parallels and connections with some people and some kind of strategies and business stuff between the professional bull riding PBR and kind of their split 25, 30 years ago, or roughly around that time. And then they kind of revamped things with the team series where they took all these individual guys, all these individual dudes and put them on different teams. Oklahoma has a team, Texas, Fort Worth has a team, Kansas City has a team. And it's taken some time for those guys to really kind of figure out like how to work as a team in a bull riding setting. But I get on the PBR YouTube stream. I watch the team series. I kind of follow along how that is, and I think it's interesting to see it going in the fishing arena as well. So we'll be back tomorrow live Thursday morning with Frank Scalish with another day 4. I think we're going to do some giveaway stuff there since we missed last week, and then we'll we may have some clothing announcements and an announcement for an evening show. We'll also be giving away some things, but like I said, a very busy time with Dean going and traveling. Everybody's traveling to this, so can't thank these guys enough for taking time to jump on Bass Talk Live. Listen, if you've enjoyed what you're hearing, what you're seeing, like, thumbs up, share the stuff. If you're listening on iTunes or an MP3 platform, leave a review and a ranking. We're getting towards that time where we're looking to revamp for 2026. Or some things that I'd like to do to bring some more content to you guys, and those reviews, comments go a long way into being able to make that happen. So we'll talk to everybody same time, same place tomorrow with a day 4. This has been another edition of BTL. We'll talk to everyone later. See ya.